I want to talk about guilt. And I'll be transparent and let you know that I am feeling rather emotional at the moment. But I think I can collect myself for this. I want to talk about guilt. Have you ever felt guilty for something super unnecessary? Like someone asks you to do something and you could do it. They ask, can you do XYZ? And you think, can I? Yes, I can. Do I want to? Absolutely not. And that fact right there eats you alive. You feel guilty for not wanting to in the first place. You feel guilty for contemplating saying no. You just feel this overwhelming guilt for for having completely normal feelings and energy. I find this to be perpetually difficult in my life when the person asking for something is my parents. Whether it's for them or for somebody on their behalf, I feel so guilty when they ask me for something, to do something, and every ounce of my being resists it. I just had this moment. I went for a walk to get my head right for this next week ahead, to set my intentions, to clear my energy, to stare at this spot that I'm staring at now, which is one of my favorite places in the world, and it's so simple. It's rolling hills. It's a pasture for cows. It's full of trees and openness. I came here to get my head straight for the next week ahead. It's a Sunday right now. And half a block into my walk, one of my parents called me and asked me to do a favor for their friend on Wednesday. Asked me if I could drive about 45 minutes from where we live to go grab this person, bring them to an appointment, and then bring them back home, and then bring myself back home. It would be all in all like a 2.5 to probably 3.5 hour trip. And I shut down. I retreated and I said, I can't make a decision right now. Can I have some time to decide? And they said, yes, of course. And I got off the phone and I started crying. I started crying because of this overwhelming guilt I feel. And I can't stand feeling this way. But you know what I realized? I realized I am not unique in feeling this guilt unnecessarily. I'm not alone. I know so many of you feel guilt for what feels like nothing. And you carry it with you, and you walk through your life hanging heavier because you hold yourself to a standard that no human can be held to. We're all required to set, keep, and communicate boundaries. And those boundaries don't always have to make sense to everyone around us. But they make sense to us and they help us function. And so it's important in situations like this to speak up, to give yourself some time if you need it, some space if you need it, just like I did now, to work through it, to clear it, to acknowledge whatever resistance or blocks you're having around whatever the decision is, and allow yourself to make the decision that is right for you first. Now, I just so happened to have a conflict that morning, so I cannot do it because I'm unwilling to move my schedule around. I work with clients and I'm unwilling to do that. And underneath that, though, I know that my energy would not be good for that situation. And I know that my energy is so important, not just for me, but for those around me. And there's a snowball effect when we make decisions from a place of people-pleasing rather than from a place of self-care. And so sometimes we make the tough choice and we risk the relational backlash. We risk the verbal confrontations. But we know that there is so much power and strength in using our voices to protect us, to take care of us, to nurture and value us first. Because from that place, from that nurtured, fulfilled place, so much more is possible. Not just for us, but for those around us. And when we nurture our energy, when we fill our cups first, before diluting what is in our cup with the expectations of others, we are able to pour from a cup that overflows and spills onto those around us with our joy, with our love, with our care, with our support, with our respect. When we have respect for what we need first, we are able to make space for and respect the needs of others as well. How can we expect others to respect our space if we don't first respect our space? And how can we possibly respect others' space if we don't first respect our space? It's a two-way street of respect, and on both sides of the street, it starts with that person first. For them, for yourself. Now, as I've talked through this, I can feel a physical change in my body. My throat doesn't feel lumpy. My lungs don't feel constricted. I don't feel this weight. I don't feel myself pulling my shoulders up into my ears. I'm walking easier. I'm thinking easier. I feel so much better because I took a moment to pause. I took a moment to pause and get clear on what's happening here. And what was happening for me is my people pleaser past was triggered. And this is the thing about those things we carry with us, those insecurities, those old ways of being that no longer serve us, the thing about all of them is they still walk with us. The difference between now and then is that we have more tools now to be able to work with them and take charge of our life. We don't let them rule our life. We have the talking stick, not our insecurities. And so when I took a moment to pause and consider the fact that I was having this reaction because I felt put on the spot to be the hero, to save the day. Because I recognized that, and because I've recognized this as a pattern in my life, this need to satisfy the needs of others. And I now know that satisfying the needs of others does nothing good for me, and it doesn't create a sustainable partnership or relationship. I knew I have to speak up for myself here. And here's the kicker. You get to do that. I get to do that in whichever way feels most expansive, feels most within your boundaries for you. So, on this same token of people pleasing, I thought I used to have to make every single confrontation, every boundary line conversation. I thought I had to make every single call literally via a call. I thought I had to make a phone call to have these conversations. You know how your parents tell you things like, or you're growing up and one of your friends is about to break up with their boyfriend, girlfriend. They'll say, oh, you should call. The right thing to do would be to call them. Okay, screw their expectations. What feels okay to you? What feels like this feels good? It may still be hard, but it feels good to me. I will feel good that I did it that way. That gets to look different for you if it looks different for you. So something I know about me is that I can hold my own much better if I give myself a space to write. I process best through writing. I also process well through talking. The battle I have is that I'm a very highly emotional human. And so if emotions are at play and are very fluid, writing is best for me because I lose it if I'm on the phone or talking with somebody. And there's a time and place to work through that and do that anyway, and I certainly will. But in a situation like this, a text is okay. An email is okay. And you know what else is okay? Communicating the fact that you're taking care of your own emotions and your own boundaries and your own processing time and space. And this is what you've come up with. When we own our space, own our own process, and we respect ourselves through those steps, it's amazing how people respond. People respect self-respect so much. It's worth it every single time. So I just wanted to share this mainly because I needed to talk through it. And man, do I feel better. I'm walking up a hill right now, so I'm a little out of breath. But I love that I get to take this at my own pace. What a reminder for everything in life that feels challenging. Take it at your own pace and don't be afraid to walk slower than the rest. Take it at your own pace. And don't be afraid to walk faster than the rest. Go at your own pace. And don't judge those around you. Take care of yourself. Lead from that position first. And see what happens. See how others respond. See what kind of a snowball effect you inadvertently create in your world. I bet it's beautiful. I bet it's very respectable. And I bet it's worth it. I hope you will take this with love and confidence the next time you need to make a decision. I hope you make that from a strong place within yourself first, and then communicate that confidently and openly with the world around you. We're ready for you, and we need you just as you are. You deserve to be strong there. You deserve to be fluid there, which means boxes are not necessary in how we respond and show up and lead to the world. Keep doing you. You're doing great. You got this. Love you. Bye.